I had a feeling that she was going to do that. Cats. Excuse me. How's it going, everybody? I had a feeling that she was going to do that. Welcome back in. Cats. It must be Tuesday again, right? Excuse me. How's it going, everybody? I had a feeling that she was going to do that. Well, yep, it is time for the. It must be Tuesday again, right? Excuse me. How's it going, everybody? Weekly. Trying to figure out what my for the. Must be Tuesday again, right? There it is. Weekly. Weekly independent creator podcast. Now, I'm trying to figure out why weekly having some issue with Omcast. Why is it having some issues? Figure out why weekly having some issue with Omcast. Why is it issues? Hopefully, it's not gonna be like how it was last week or this past Sunday with the first 2 hours where it was just constantly, it was last week playing, dropping, starting it back up again. Sunday with the so first 2 hours it's doing that again. Playing, dropping. So I gotta figure out, and it's also I get this media stuff could not be loaded either because the server or network failed, or because the format is not supported. Okay, so that's just something I gotta look into later on. Anyways, welcome on in. Okay, so that's just something. So I gotta look. If you haven't been part of a live recording session of the Independent Creator Podcast, is what we usually do. First couple minutes, we have some live recording housekeeping stuff. We'll go through, welcome everybody in, and then we go into the actual meat and potatoes of the episode. Welcome everybody in. Go through what we're talking about, and at the end, if there's any questions or any kind of comments or anything, we could do like a Q&A kind of session there at the end of the episode, and then wrap up. Comments or anything. That's pretty much it. I mean, kind of session. You can't get any less. I don't know. You can't get any less complicated, I guess. Less. I don't know. So yeah, it's so tonight we're actually going to be talking about what we're going to be talking about the content creation. Pretty much, we'll talk about myself mostly today. Content creator journey, platforms, tools and techniques of the trade, and all sorts of stuff like that. Again, what is it? Journey, platforms, tools and techniques of the trade. Hey, St. Clinton, how's it going? Yeah, my own cast. It's just I don't know what the hell's going on with it. Hey, St. Clinton, how's it going? Cast. It's just I don't know what the hell's going on with it. As I am streaming the BC. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. Why it is doing what it is doing. Streaming the BC. Why it is doing what it is doing. Missing picture in access unit. What? Why it is doing what it is doing. Missing hardware access unit. What? Oh, sounds missing hardware access unit. What? Oh, sounds check. Oh, sounds oh, where is it coming from? Check. Oh, where is it coming from? Check. Oh, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Where's it coming from? Oh, okay. I figured it out. Thank you. I had a YouTube tab open for some reason. All right. Okay. Thought I had everything all situated, but I guess not. So now it's working. But the problem is with the Omcast, I don't know why it's having an issue. I'm gonna have to get started or send that in to Gabe. Say, hey, what's going on with this? I think that really has changed though. Yeah, it's 1440 at 30. Going at like 5,000K. Who knows? That's another thing I have to figure out. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and pop the chat out for that. So I got that going as well. Okay, minimized. I guess what we can do is get started. And hopefully nothing else blows up in the meantime. There goes stream ending, stream starting. Guess this is going to do that over and over until I get it figured out. Sorry, it's just... love the cats, but they bring up so much crap from the floor onto my desk. Alrighty, well, let's get started, shall we? All right, here we go. Welcome to another edition of the Independent Creator Podcast. Tonight, we're actually going to be talking about a little bit of my personal journey as a content creator. We're also going to look into the different platforms that I've used throughout the years, and also some tools and techniques that I've pretty much found that works for me. I don't know, it might work for you. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight on the Independent Creator Podcast. So let's jump in and get started. All right, so my own personal journey had started many eons ago. Not really, but it was years ago where I was a simple little, tiny little broadcaster, live streamer, trying out my my luck over on Twitch. And actually, I was on a different account than what I'm using right now for the past couple of years. I used a account called Schrodenberg. I was more of a family-friendly kind of content creator at the time. I'm PG-13-ish, sometimes delving into the R, but you know, that point in time was where I was trying to get into the lucrative family-friendly side of things, because there was a lot of other creators that were along that genre, playing like games like Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite, and Overwatch. I know, right? It's not really family-friendly games for the last two, but you know what? It can be, and I found some success. I actually had got together with a group called The Shed. At the time, I started going into trying out Mixer at the time, because I think at the time it was just turned into Mixer after Microsoft bought Beam and they changed the name to Mixer. So I was like, let me try this out here, because after a year or two over on Twitch is kind of, it's okay at the time, because Twitch even now doesn't have the discoverability as it did before. It never had it before. So it was kind of, well, you got to be like very popular. You got to be like in the know-how with what is going on. And that didn't really reflect too greatly to how I was providing content. So that's why when I saw Mixer, I was like, oh, I'll try that, because I can break into a new platform, or I should say new service, as a content creator with this different kind of um, mindset of how I like to stream. And Mixer was kind of like a uh, it was good. I found some success, especially with some with other creators through the shed, and was having a great time. We had some collaboration group nights. It was actually really cool, and it was something that you really had to be part of to really experience. Is the mindset at the time was that Mixer wasn't really um it was going to go somewhere, but we had in the back of our mind that it wasn't really. So it was kind of we'll just see what we can do, make the service the best that we can make it, and then go from there. Now, as pretty much we all know, it's kind of just it died, and it just kind of fell by the wayside. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make a change for myself too, because I had also joined up as a co-host or as a technical director, as it were, the person who pushes the buttons, as a show called the Beyond the Veil. What it was is that it was a podcast that dealt with or talked about the updates and news and all the goings ons within the world of Secret World Legends, or at the time it's called The Secret World. So I decided, okay, let me go ahead and break into the podcasting scene, and I'm pretty much I've been there since I think it was October. It was October 2018 or 2019. I forget exactly the year, but I remember my first time actually producing the show, being a technical director. I had full control of what was being broadcast at the time. So we were using like TeamSpeak, going through OBS, and I was capturing the audio from TeamSpeak and also playing the game on a single PC, and it was okay. I can't really say anything else that it was any better, but eventually we just started improving on a couple different things, making some changes here and there. Eventually, what happened was that the Beyond the Veil kind of, well, it kind of went away, but myself, Ocho, and Jimmy the Rabbit, we decided, well, what we could do is continue on. I think what we did is we continued on Beyond the Veil for a couple more episodes until it was pretty much time for, okay, well, it's time for Beyond the Veil to retire. It's time for it to go and join its friends in the pastures of podcast of yore. So we decided to create another podcast based on the same premise and everything, but called the 0 Point Report. And we've been doing that for the past couple of years. So it was, and made changes where instead of using TeamSpeak, because that was actually before moved everybody over to Discord, but we use I use through Ecamm, and I've been using the interview mode through Ecamm as well. So if you want to check it out, I'll post up a link in the description down below if you want to check out the 0 Point Report podcast. It's over on Twitch, and that's what we're talking about mostly, is about Secret World Legends, a lot of games from Funcom, and yeah, that's pretty much the podcast side of things. And of course, during that halfway point in the time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move away from the Schrodinger persona account. I was feeling is like not that many people were able to pronounce it correctly or even knew what it was about. It was a play on words. It was Schrodinger's cat and ember, like an ember, fire embers. So that was kind of like a play, combination of the two. It was a little play on words and stuff like that. So I decided, okay, let's go to the two-tone waffle, because everyone loves waffles. I love waffles. I know probably you love waffles, and yeah, it's other than that, it's been great with going into playing a lot of indie games. I was more focusing into that. The indie game market is wide open. It's actually a lot better than the AAA titles that are out there. Yes, I know there is the Starfield, the Baldur's Gate, Overwatch, and those games I play as well. Not except for Baldur's Gate. I don't have Baldur's Gate 3, but I do play Starfield. I do play Overwatch, and uh, Fallout 76. For some reason I was thinking Farscape, but I don't know where that was coming from. So, so I was kind of trying to find my own niche and see where I was pretty much fitting in. Um, I had some great success or some decent success playing also Star Wars: The Old Republic, and Fallout 76. I was kind of like, okay, let's try with like the MMO style of this, and I was playing those for a couple months, and then I was trying to start out with Starfield, and of course that failed spectacularly with trying to play it on the first night it came out public release, and with crashes galore. And I was like, you know what, screw it. I don't want to play this game anymore. I can't play the game. And I've just been, working on indie games and going through. I started up a video series called The First 2 Hours, where it's basically I go through my Steam catalog and a game that I have not played, or if I have played it, it'd be less than 15 minutes. Those were the rules I had set out. So I have, probably like a good 350 to 400 games that I have access to that I can just play every week. And as the name implies, I play it for 2 hours, go through and grade how the mechanics is, the gameplay. Is it fun to play, or is it sucks? Is the game audio good? Graphics, just basically go through and reviewing the game, and I give my final thoughts at the end of the episode, and that's pretty much it for the first 2 hours. And I do that every Sundays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on the Two Tone Waffle. So that's why I was just going back and forth trying to figure out my niche, like pretty much every other content creator is trying to do, or still trying to do, or what you should do is, see what works, what doesn't work, give it some time. Don't say, oh, after a week, I can't do this, I suck at it, so switch over to something else. Now just give it something like a 2 to 3, maybe 6 months, and trying things out like that, and see how it works out. If it doesn't work out, just switch it out. Do something else, especially if you're a gameplay streamer, and see what works for you. You don't have to play the latest and greatest titles, so it's something that you have to figure out yourself. Now, that's pretty much it for my own content creator journey, going through the different platforms and services. I'll talk about the platforms next here, but going through and trying to figure out who I am as as a content creator, and what kind of content that I want to produce and put out there. So let's actually talk about the different platforms I had used, and it's pretty much a lot of them are out there that have used. Some of them are still running. Some of them have gone by the wayside, have just died off. And there's some good aspects on a few of them, and some, what the hell, on some others. So, like I said, I started out on Twitch. That was pretty much the only place that you could really do live streaming on at the time, and it was kind of the place to be. At the time, it was smaller. There wasn't as many people that there are now currently. I should say, especially with after the COVID bump. But Twitch at the time, it was a good place. It was a fun place. There was a lot of changes that were coming on, some new innovations that they were doing. Fortunately, they don't do those things now anymore. So like I had mentioned previously, I had actually moved to Mixer. I was originally looked at the Beam when they first opened their doors, and I was like, oh, this actually sounds interesting, but I never really did anything. And I kind of kicked myself in the butt, saying, you know what, you should have tried it when it was Beam, because you could have been a little bit bigger a lot bigger than you are now. And unfortunately, I waited until, the Microsoft acquisition of Beam and then changing the name over to Mixer and then started on there. And I actually had a great time on Mixer. There was so much that they were doing right, especially at the time with the FTL protocol that they were using for their streaming side of things, that beat Twitch hands down. You had sub-second or 1 second or less response time. So when someone posts up in the chat, you see it and then you can reply to it, was very quick. Because at the time, Twitch was maybe 5 to 10 seconds, and even on mobile, it was even worse. It was like 30 to 40 seconds. So it was kind of this new up and coming thing that really took the streaming world by, shook it to its core. Not really, but it was kind of like, oh, this is interesting and that's really cool. But what was happening was that it was also being kind of lambasted from people on Twitch. Unfortunately, it's always that case. If something new comes out that has a great idea and capabilities, people are on Twitch have this cult mentality to say, "Oh, it's just a ripoff of Twitch. It's not gonna last," and it's 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 sad to see people do that. They don't say, "Hey, let me check this out. Let me just take the time and actually check it out. It might be better for you. Who knows?" If you just instantly write it off as something terrible and bad, guess what? You're going to be stuck in a rut without any kind of real world experience. But good away from that is that I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Mixer, and what they did is they had a lot of good things going about with them, from like the stickers, the emotes, just everything about it, and just how the lay of the overall look of it was really good too. Unfortunately, it did not survive. Unfortunately, it was killed by its own mismanagement, and Microsoft is not really saying, "Oh, yeah, we don't like this. We don't want to do this anymore." So it was kind of a killed off by its own, not success. Yeah, we'll go with that. And so a lot of people were kind of saying, "Oh, where do we go now? What do we do?" Well, at the time, it was another service was just came up. It was called Mad Cats, and it was or Mad Cat. I forget exactly what it was, but it rebranded itself as Trovo. And Trovo at the beginning, I think you probably see a lot of where I'm going with this. At the beginning, everything was good until the Fire Nation attacked. So, um, Trovo at the beginning had a lot of promise. They had a great thing that they were going with it. The problem was that they started to go into like a over. They wanted to gamify things a little bit more and to bring on a couple different ways of how to incorporate more user interaction, which is a good thing. It's just that their implementation of it wasn't the best, and they kind of doubled down on getting things a little bit further and further away from what their core goal or core value was the streamer itself. Themselves, I should say, not itself, because we are a person. We're people, not a thing. And it was disheartening to see. Even more now is whenever I go back every once in a while, I'll see what they've been doing, and it's kind of disheartening to see how much gamified mechanics they have been placing into their systems. It's just like everything is you treasure chests, there's embers, there's sparks, there's arena battles, there's team arena battles, there's the kitchen sink. I mean, there is pretty much everything is gamified, and this is very confusing and very frustrating as not just as a viewer, but as a content creator looking at it, it's like, you massacred my boy kind of feeling on it. And it's really disheartening to see that what could have been had been just, stomped and just mutilated into its current iteration. So I don't really cover, or I don't even have been on Trovo and over. I mean, I do occasionally go there, but as an active viewer or an active streamer, it's been over a year. Actually, longer than that, I think. I think the last time it's been, let's just say, over a year, and it's a shame, really, because Trovo did have some capability of being a good place to be. It's just that they completely botched how they went about things, and that's a story that with a lot of different places, that's what happens. Because when I tried, Glimish came out around the same, a little bit later. Glimish came out, so I was like, okay, again, as a person that is constantly um, experimenting with different things, I looked at Glimish and say, "Oh, you guys are using FTL." At the time, Twitch has kind of had caught up with the latency, but I was like, "All right, let's see what this little upstart is capable of." And it was, again, as with all these upstarts, it looked good at the beginning, but this time, this one quickly kind of, you can see the writing on the wall, where there was a lot of again, mismanagement all the way up. There was, of course, it was a very small team of a few volunteers, and pretty much almost at the very start, you could see the cracks in the wall and how things were starting to shake out. And it was like, I'll still support you guys, because what you're doing, I think, is pretty good. If, as long as you get your act together, you can do some good things. And it was just kind of like, it didn't go good. It was quickly devolved to say, "Oh wait, we're going to do advertising," and it's like, okay, that's good. Let's see it. Put your money where your mouth is. And a couple posts on Twitter didn't really do anything, because they didn't really keep up with it, and just kind of languish with trying to add new stuff into to the service. And it was months dragged by, and then quarters, and it's just continued, and then until finally, eventually, it's like, oh, we're going to be doing like not really a rebranding. What it was that they were saying was a reimagining. And then it only lasted about a good 2 months, maybe 3, until they dropped the hammer. It's like, yeah, we're closing up shop. We can't do this anymore. And it's like, yeah, we knew it. And it didn't hurt, because unlike the Mixer, it was kind of, we saw it was coming. Yeah, Glimish had a lot of great hype at start, but you don't think that they were where they should have been before becoming live. A lot of people say, yeah, a lot of people would agree with you, St. Clinton, that try to get it out as polished as can be, because we do see that currently with another service. It's not out yet. It's a SharePlay. SharePlay, they announced almost a month ago that it's only going to be a couple more weeks until we launch in beta. Well, that was almost a month ago, and there is no communication whatsoever from that team. And it was, again, at a great hype, even before they were actually released to the public. And they were constantly saying, we want to make sure we release a product that is, I'm putting words in their mouth, perfect. Fortunately, that's not going to be the case. You get it in working order as best as you can, and then you release the product, and then you can iterate from there. It's not like you have like create a Porsche and it's like, yep, we're done. It's not going. It's like, no, you iterate, you increase the horsepower, you make some different design choices, you make turn into a sedan. I don't know, or an SUV. Of course, they did do that. Porsche. It's a Porsche SUV or small compact SUV. But anyways, getting back to the point. Um, SharePlay has there's no active hype about it anymore. When you look at the Discord, it is almost essentially dead. There's a few people every once in a while post. They do like the good morning post, but it's like there's the last time that any of the staff had posted was pretty much a month ago, and I see it when I used it. I was lucky enough to get into the alpha stage, um, to get alpha access to it. It's a great platform. From the little bit that all I could do was stream to it, and then that was pretty much it. I couldn't play with like any of the back end, the dashboard, because I don't think that has been completed. I don't think it is there. All they have is just the streaming the servers. But going through it, uh, using it, they have a good idea. It's just I don't think it's going to survive. To tell you the truth, I don't think it's going to be a DOA. Because the hype has died down. The people that were very gung ho for it are no longer on the Discord server, so There's not this rah rah feeling. There's no activities like, oh, it's only going to be a couple more weeks, right? Yeah, can't wait. No, it's like, oh, it's only we make an announcement. It's only a couple weeks, and then a week later, it's crickets. 2 weeks later, still more crickets. Someone just posted, I think this morning. I replied to say, yeah, there was an update about it going into beta in a few weeks, but that was a month ago, almost a month ago. And I put a link to added a link to the post, the Discord server. So I don't think that they're going to have any kind of it's going, like I said, it's going to be a DOA kind of issue. They're going to be some people that are going to be streaming to us like, "Yay, it's open! There's beta. Let's go!" And maybe a month to maybe 4 months, and it's gonna crater, and it's gonna crater hard because they have been spending so many months, so many years, and saying we're producing the best product, live streaming product that we can offer you, and this is going to be the best. And it's like, well, you can sit there, continue working on trying to make your product the best it can be. What's going to happen is you're not going to have a product to release because you're going to be continuing to improving on it with new stuff comes out. Oh, let's put that into it. So let's work on that. And as you're working on it, no one's using it because you're the only one that's working on it. It's not released. And it's kind of like, again, it's going to be a DOA project, which is a shame. Is again, there's high hopes for SharePlay, but we shall see. But I don't have high hopes for it surviving very long unless they have a lot of VC money. And currently, at this point in time, in how the world is right now, VC money is dried up, or it's not. It's they're picking their bets very, very carefully. So, which leads me into Livespace. Livespace is kind of like it's a great platform. As you notice, I was calling all these different places services because they provide a live streaming service. Livespace, on the other hand, is a live streaming platform because they do offer a place to post up for communities, a community post in a kind of a Twitter-esque type of feed, and they have like a sub-only place and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's a great platform. It does have its drawbacks here and there, to speak very bluntly, because it's, to me, I'm seeing the viewership drop off. I'm streaming to it right now, but there is, when you look at it, you can see that there is some viewership drop off because also with a streamer drop off as well. As most of the times during the day, there's only 3 to 4, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be another Glimish, is it? And I want to say this. I want to say it's a good upstart, but it's just kind of like they have to start working on getting the word of mouth out there. They have to start advertising and say, hey, come to Livespace and do something to try to bring in more viewers. And I know a lot of the times it's also on us as a content creator um, to bring in as many eyeballs that we can, but there's only so many things that we can do to do this kind of stuff. And it's just something that I'm looking at as I multi-stream to all these different places on the Indie Creator Hub side of things, also on my Two-Ton Waffle side. It's kind of like, well, the reason why I do multi-streaming is so I can have my eggs in different baskets. And if I have a growing audience in one particular thing, then I can start culling down into less and less until I get into one particular service or platform. So that's the reason why I do a lot of multi-streaming. I know it's just some say it's detrimental to your stream's health, but I've been killing my stream health for a long time by going to different services and platforms. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm on the front page of Livespace right now. That's why I said I love the look and feel of it. It's, as you said, Tinklin, they just need to promote it more. It's just they need to get out there and get in front of a lot of people's eyes that, hey, Livespace is here. We're still here. Or not go for that particular turn of phrase. It's we're still here. It's kind of like, ooh, you don't do that in PR speak. But say, hey, we're here. Come join us for a better split. We're not Kick. Don't have to put that in there too. You get 85% of your sub revenue, and you get your sub button pretty much from the get-go. All you gotta do is just connect your account to your Stripe account, and then your sub button is activated. So it's kind of, they got to do something in getting their name recognition out there more and stop sitting on their laurels and just think that people are going to come to them. It's kind of that mindset is like, build it, they will come. It's like, no, that's an old way of thinking. You have to be proactive. You have to be more proactive than the actual streamers. You're a live streaming service. Give us exactly what it is that you are providing for these content creators that are better than they can find over at Twitch. Well, release the hounds, not just posting on Twitter, because Twitter is again, that's a dumpster fire to be end all, but just get your name out there and just work in getting some feelers, because they had that, or they still do that. The 1,000 creators at 100%. What was it? They were going to have like 1,000 creators get 100% of their revenue program or initiative. That it was supposed to end back in the end of August, but they moved it out to December. I think more than likely is because they could not get enough people. They could not get a full 1,000 creator complement to say, hey, the program is filled up. Let's go. So they moved it. The end date is into December. And it's like, I think that initiative was good, but I think it's probably a little early. They should have had at least 1,000 streamers on the site to begin with. Because I know, saying with like Facebook Gaming did the same thing, and I also did a little bit of Facebook Gaming as well. Is they did 100% for partners, but I think what they should have focused on was getting at least 1,000 streamers active on the service or the platform to begin with. But yeah, I'm hoping at least they're released a product. They're constantly making some changes, seeing what works, what doesn't, which is more important to have it out there. But I think it's kind of I'm in a wait and see holding pattern right now. I'm still using the service, and it's a good service. It's a good platform, but it's a holding pattern because I'm still using my own cast server, which I'm gonna have to figure out why it's not working all that well right now. I got YouTube and I got Twitch, and unfortunately, with everything, all the stuff that's going on with Twitch, is still to put it truthfully, is the number one live streaming service for live content. YouTube is good. It's just that they have to make some changes here and there. But all in all, it's going good. But I want to actually move into tools and techniques. Really, I've used OBS for many years. I decided to just a couple years ago decided to go into a 2 PC setup, streaming setup where I use a Windows and a Mac, and on the Mac I use a program called Ecamm. I looked at Ecamm before I even got my Mac Mini, or actually jumped into the Mac world, and I was like, yeah, there's a lot of potential with this program. True, OBS does a lot of different things, but a lot of it is also you have to integrate a lot of plugins into the core software. Ecamm kind of strips that out. It does, especially now, it does a lot of stuff. Like what you see here is I built all within Ecamm. I don't really have to use external photo software or creative software like Canva or Photoshop to make, overlays. This is all within Ecamm. It's just using the built-in tools, but they didn't have this stuff at the very beginning. They're slowly integrating new things into their service. And one of the things I was pulled into is like, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to do your live streaming and or recording of content within Ecamm. It's kind of because I've tried out the software called vMix, and that's on the Windows side of things, and it's a very capable program, but the problem is it's kind of inundating to someone who just comes into it, because you have like your scenes and overlays, and you also have different layers, and it's just like then you add in your sound levels, and then all that is integrated, and it's kind of, and when you look at it to begin with, it's kind of confusing to look at it, and you're like, ooh, I don't know about this. Plus the high price tag. I think at the time when I looked at it, it was like $375, especially if you wanted it to if you wanted to have HD output, like at the time it was only 1080p, and you can have I think it was 1,000 overlays that you're capable of. They had a cheaper version at $70, but I think that was at 720p, and you can only have I believe 10 layers or overlays or whatever it was called, which is very limiting. So I was kind of like, and of course I had used XSplit for a long time too, And XSplit is pretty much, think of it as like a another version or a different version of OBS. It's basically all these programs all essentially are the same. They take your broadcast that you're transmitting to the internet and make it in a pretty way that you can customize and stuff like that. But XSplit was also a pretty good program. I think it was at like $30. Hey, Lo-Fi. It was like at $30 per quarter, which is every 3 months. I don't know, but most people know about that. So yeah, XSplit was another good option that I played around with. But I always drawn back to OBS. OBS was kind of like the end all be all kind of thing for the encoding software. And when I moved to the two PC setup, it was one of the things where it's like, okay, I'm gonna utilize Ecamm because I can see a lot of the stuff that for my productivity workflow. Ecamm does a lot of things that I enjoy and does it well. And also with the interview mode, it works great too because I incorporated into using that with the podcast with 0 Point Report. And I've continuously enjoy using the interview mode with that because with the new Ecamm 4.1, the latest version of it, you can have up to 10 people in interview mode. That's including you as the broadcaster. So it all depends on how your internet bandwidth is capable. You can have all 10, but if you don't have beefy internet, it's going to look a little odd or not work whatsoever. But it works in my case with myself and 2 other people, and I've got up to had 6 people in interview mode and really no problem. I think it's mostly because I got everything going off of a M1 Mac Mini, which is the base model, so it's 8 gigs memory, which I know I should have got to the 16 gig. I'm kicking myself for that, but for my 90% of my use case, it works just fine with 3 to 4 people. So that's. I'm gonna have to drop the Owncast. It's not working on Owncast, but yeah. So Ecamm, I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm going to be making some. I made some changes to my YouTube channel, the Indie Creator Hub, where I expanded out the playlist. I changed out the titles and the descriptions. I kind of fleshed them all out, made it look a little bit better, and going to be adding in some more content for just the Ecamm, for chatbots, alternative platforms like I normally would do, but I'm incorporating it with also Envision Community, some forum software, and some more stuff. So to look at all the different ways I'm expanding the production value, especially with, like I said, with Ecamm, I've already built a pretty much what you see here, an overlay package that is free to use, that anyone can, if they use or have used Ecamm, you have to be using Ecamm. Words are hard tonight. Yeah, they can download it and import it into their own software and customize it however they like. But it's kind of like it's a great thing that they just started with it, because with the creating of the shapes and how everything is all built out now, I don't have to use, like I said, I don't have to use an outside program. Which is great too, because it kind of I don't have to figure out, oh, is this going to be cutting off, or how's this going to look Let me go ahead, upload it or add it into the software. Oh, it looks off a little bit, so I gotta go back into it. No, I can do it all in real time. Change out different scenes and stuff like that. So like this scene, I got all my all these little guys right here is all different elements that are built into the overlay system. Of course, the text is the same thing. The underlaying underneath the camera, that's that gray square, is essentially a gray square that you can fully customize. I can have different shapes. I can have a rectangle, square, circle, and what's called a squircle. What is a squircle? Is basically it's a squared, but it's not obtuse, but it has extremely rounded edging. It's something that you have to see. I'll show you here. So let me go ahead and add this. Add that back in. So I want to make this and actually, let me show you. So this is a live demo mode. This is all Ecamm that you're seeing right now. So I want to go and make this a squircle. So as you can see, it's kind of it's rounded. It's a little hard to see, but it doesn't have a flat edge. It's rounded. So all the different things that you can do with Ecamm is, like I said, I got the comments that come in from YouTube and Twitch, and it's all integrated. I can set this up, and if I had the monetized feature on YouTube, I can also show super chats will show up here and their own tab. I can set up, favorites and stuff like that. I have a video going over the latest version prior to the latest version. It was a version and a half ago, but I'm going to be doing some more content on Ecamm itself and showing what you can do within Ecamm. So yeah, that was the tools and tricks, or not tools and tricks, but techniques that I've used that are pretty much what I found that helps me out with doing content creation and also live streaming, is that I started with the free versions of the free software like OBS. When you're starting out, OBS is like the best thing that you can use. There really isn't anything like it, free wise, I should say. If you really want to start branching out, look into, depending on if you're Windows or a Mac base. If you're, let's say, Windows, if you want to start branching out to a more professional, I would look into vMix. I think they still do their 30-day trials, or it might be a 14-day trial. But that's if you want to go into a more professional route of encoding software. OBS is still going to be the number one pick that I can think of, in my personal opinion. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the corners are rounded, I suppose. it was there. Like if I do it here, if I make the corner radius. Yeah, see, there's more rounded. There's more rounding to it. So yeah, for a free option, I would definitely look into OBS. It's still very capable and it's free and open source, so you don't have to pay monthly, you don't have to pay yearly, you don't have to pay a one-time fee. It's you don't have to pay. And then just look into the different plugins for it. The Move plugin, I think, is probably the best bet if you want to do some cool move transitions from your different sources from one place to another, or if we need to go from one scene to another. So I would definitely take a look at that. Yeah, if one doesn't want to use OBS, Prism Live is great. Yeah. St. Clint, I've been looking. I'm still waiting on them to do a Mac version because I want to check it out. Yeah, but Prism Live is definitely another good option. So yeah, OBS and check out Prism Live. I would stay away from Streamlabs Desktop. This is my personal opinion. Streamlabs Desktop is very resource heavy. It likes to use a lot of your computer resources when most people don't have like the best high-end PCs, and it's kind of like it takes a lot of resources, more so than I think OBS, the actual OBS version. So, I believe that is it for free. It's just those two options, really. Yeah, for free, there's only the two options. If you want to do, if you don't have even the computer resources to do OBS, I would look into like StreamYard or Melon or even Riverside.fm. But those are more for like a talking head kind of like this kind of a podcast style programming, because the way how they go about the stream is great for webcams. But when you try to bring in a video source or a screen source, the quality is not the best because it's all web based. So the bandwidth is not going to be there for you to be showing your gameplay skills in Fork Knife. It's just not going to look great. Believe me, we've tried it with the 0 Point Report. We tried StreamYard for a while, at least for like a couple months, and it was just the quality of having your gameplay on stream with your webcam and your guest webcams is not the best. Oh, yeah, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, it comes with GeForce Experience for streaming games, but yeah, it's pretty limited. Yeah, NVIDIA. Yeah, GameForce has that. I was thinking it was another program that had it too, but it's just GeForce. It's just your options are limited currently. There are some programs out there like I said, OBS and Prism Live, especially on the free route. But if you're paying, because you have to pay for an NVIDIA card, so it comes with it. So you're out a couple $100 for a new NVIDIA card, which is a bummer. But I don't think there's any other alternative streaming encoders that are out there for free. Not what I've seen. Definitely, if you know of one, let me know in the community or in the comments. I would love to check it out if you have any information about that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up this episode. If you're here during the live streaming or live studio audience, I got to enunciate your words better there, son. If you're here for the live streaming audience, it's great to have you. We do this live recordings every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and the episode is released a week later, same at Tuesday at 8 a.m. It's also released on the podcast playlist on YouTube, and you can find the audio version throughout your audio podcast player of choice: Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, Overcast, pretty much everywhere. Oh, no problem. You're absolutely welcome. That's why I do these type of shows, these episodes. Is not only is it great for me because I can learn more about what is out there, but it also I like helping other people find alternative platforms or different things that might help them as a content creator, you know? So thank you for coming out and enjoying this episode. If you want to see some more, definitely check it out on our YouTube Indie Creator Hub over on YouTube, but also join our community at thisindie.creator.com is our forums. Also made some changes over there as well to beautify it a little bit more. But until next time, enjoy your night and later, taters. Now, I'm going to spin this down here a little bit. Now is just the end of the episode recording. I'll get a drink of water. But yeah, there's because St. Clinton, you're right. It's Prism Live. I've been waiting. I've been looking and checking out their Discord every once in a while, see if they made any announcements or anything on the Mac version. Because I would definitely like to see how that works on Mac, but it's silent. Bring up some music here. I've been playing around in the a new browser, Arc. And that's that crackle that you heard. That's one reason why I want to upgrade Mac Mini. As actually, I've been looking into the Mac Studio. It's going to be a lot of overhead, so I don't have to worry about it hitting my RAM. Excuse me, hitting the RAM, like peaking it out. So I should have gone with the 16 gig. Dummy me, but I was just thinking cheap. Oh, it's a cheap Mac. Well, you get what you paid for. Oh, did I follow myself? I'm gonna follow myself. Followed. Hey, Two-Ton Waffle started following you. Thanks, Two-Ton Waffle. Yeah, I'm not so sure why it's taking so long. You're right. It's it should have been soon, or relatively soon. But it is what it is, unfortunately. But yeah, because that's another thing why I do like I said, I mentioned it, multi-streaming to YouTube, Twitch, Livespace, and my Owncast server. I gotta figure out why it's Owncast is pooping on me. It's just the fact that I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm spreading myself to 4 different places, but I'm also seeing where I should start focusing my efforts on. Like if I start getting a especially with, because I do the same thing on a Two-Ton Waffle side as well. If I start seeing a uptick and more audience growth, let's say in YouTube, then I'll start focusing more on the YouTube side of things. Because the Twitch side, I don't think if you don't have a large audience to begin with, it's kind of like, why bother? And it's also your content doesn't live for a long time there. Oh yeah, it's still Blue Sky is still around. I think what people are more focusing on is Threads. I've been noticing because I'm in all the places except for X. I've been noticing more and more people are focusing their efforts into Threads more. And there's Mastodon still. I still use because I've been trying to figure out for a while now. Because I've been trying to figure out my how I should go about different things. Threads currently is not federated. It has the capability, but they haven't really activated it yet. You can't connect your Threads to your Mastodon account yet. They said they're going to, but they had the capability. It's there, so that is in of itself, because it uses the activity pub protocols. And once they do that, that's actually a really huge thing, especially coming from a company from the likes of Meta, Facebook, really. Is that this closed-sourced behemoth corpo social network is embracing decentralization. So it's kind of like, huh? Never heard that before, but that's what they said when they started talking about Threads. Which is interesting thing that they're doing. So yeah, I'm just waiting for them to actually flip that switch, because I don't know if you've heard WordPress flip the switch. So if you run a WordPress blog or a WordPress site, you can connect it to the ActivityPub protocol and to the Fediverse. So you can create a blog post and have automatically be sent out to Mastodon. So that is actually a really cool thing. And that I'm like, I was gonna post up in the Ghost forum that it's like, hey, can we actually get this integrated as well to the Fediverse, because that's WordPress is doing it. I use Ghost for my blog website, and I also use Envision Community for the forums. Yeah, I forgot that WordPress did that. Yeah, and what was it? Tumblr. Tumblr's connected. There's one other company site. Trying to think what was its name? I know it's Tumblr, and I think that was probably it. I'm probably thinking of something else. But then Blue Sky uses the it's AT. Trying to remember what that stands for. But it's a completely separate protocol. It's not ActivityPub. It's its own thing. But the thing is with Blue Sky is its own thing, and they're focusing on slowly building out features, which is great, I should say. I'm glad that Threads is moving fast with a lot of stuff, because we got edit. You can edit your entries. Well, you have at least 5 minutes of doing edits, which is still great, and it's for free. I think we're getting gift support. No, yeah, gift support in Threads, or is that Blue Sky? I forget which. They all started blending together. Yeah, Threads will do far better when they. Yeah, that's a very good point. Is when they break into the EU market, it's the market share is going to explode. Twitter is pretty much dead in the water. It's just flapping around, making its circles, but it's dead. The only reason why I still have an account there is because I still have to focus on posts that are still going out there, and I can't do that because I've when I'm logged out, I can only see the one post. You can't see anything else, and it's of course a direct link. So, but even more so, I'm still kind of like, do I even need my account? No, it's just a nice. It's not really nice to have, but it's just like it's there. To put it simply. Oh, you stopped using WordPress? Yeah, because I don't use WordPress. I stopped using it a long time ago. I use Ghost, which is a free open source blog newsletter type of website that you can use. You can use it on your own self-hosted infrastructure, or you can have them host it for like I think with 500 members or less, if you have that, is like $11 a month. I was using it to gain exposure outside of YouTube and alert people when I'm live or doing an event. They killed automation, and it doesn't bring me new viewers at this point. Oh, what does? Actually, I'm gonna pop YouTube chat. 1 second. Oh, Twitter. Yeah. Oh, what was it? NPR, because they left Twitter, and they stated it's like, the amount of traffic that we've lost was negligible. It's like there was any loss of traffic from Twitter into NPR. So it's kind of like, yeah, Twitter doesn't offer anything anymore. There's no engagement really, except unless you want to do like troll bait. So it's kind of like it's a lost cause pretty much. And like I said, the only thing I keep around is so I can keep tabs of like Twitch news. Because yes, it's very, especially for me, it's very important to keep a bridge of what's happening on Twitch. But and a couple different accounts, but that's pretty much it. My use of it is 98% less than what I used to use it for. I've moved on to Mastodon, Threads, Spoutable, and Blue Sky. But again, like I said, I was for a while, for at least the past month, I was trying to figure out my best way of posting stuff. I think what I'm just going to do is just post to all the places, because I have different audiences in all the different places. Like with my Mastodon accounts, I have 2 accounts of Mastodon. I have my Josh B account, which I focus more on this type of stuff, like the content creator side of things. And then I also have the Two-Tone Waffles on ICH, which I have focused on just the gaming aspect. So that's kind of like 2 different audiences that I cater to on just the 2 Mastodon accounts. Threads I've set up pretty much as like it's everything: content creation, randomness, and indie game stuff. Same thing with Blue Sky. I post out my it's the same thing. Post out podcast podcast episode links and all sorts of other stuff too. Pretty much, it's almost like a copy of Threads. And it's in Spoutable. I'm probably going to do posting up the same thing. See what kind of audience I can build there as well. So it's kind of like, you know, just putting my feelers out there. See. Oh yeah, I know. I thought I had turned them off. Yeah. I thought turned that off, but I guess it's still on. But yeah, I'm just gonna be posting out feelers and seeing what kind of types of posting gets the most traction, or starts getting, you know, better likes or whatever, and so just go from there. It's all experimentation, pretty much. It's just to see what's good and what works. But what I'm also gonna be doing is posting to these different platforms, but pretty much directing is just posting my articles and blog posts and stuff from the website, This Indie Creator, to those places. Try to, you know, get a direct people to come into the forums and to you know, read the postings and stuff like that. I'm pretty much doing what I talked about a couple weeks ago with owning your own content and hosting it yourself. I've been doing that as kind of like, this is what you got to do. You can't just go around and post a article on Twitter and say, hey, this is where my information, my content lives. It's like, well, you made a terrible choice. I'm sorry, but you need to change that fact around and not do that. So that's why I was I'm still adamant and say, hey, just create your own site, stick your stuff onto it, and then share out from there, and have direct people out from outside into your site and go from there. Because that's the only way going forward, is setting up your content as your own, on your own space, and do it from that way. Because any other way, it's not going to work. There is no way that really you can't do anything. If you put your stuff out there, it's just going to die. And the same thing with like SEO type of stuff, is just not putting inside a Discord server, because the outside world doesn't know what's in there. There's no linking out to it. There is no way for SEO to bring up your Discord server, because it's a walled garden. And bring back MySpace. You know, it never died. It's just changed. MySpace.com is still out there. But the funny thing is that it's kind of weird and janky looking still, but it's only for it's focused on music, musicians and stuff like that. You're beginning to find more nerds and geeks on Spoutable, but I'm finding it, like a number of those sites, to be very political. Trying to fall out of political stuff on Spoutable, more gaming, live streaming, podcast stuff. Yeah, I've noticed that too, Spoutable. Bring back GeoCities. How about BBS farms? Friendster, right? Yeah, I was looking at this stuff, and it's just like MySpace is a shadow, not even a shadow of its former self. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Artist, actor, yeah. Who knows? So yeah, I'm right there with you. St. Clinton is because it's very political that I've noticed. I'm like, I don't want to get into this, but Threads is also the same way. It depends on what the algorithm feeds you and stuff like that. But I'll be right there with you and start spreading some more of the content creator nonsense and gaming nonsense in a professional / non-professional manner. But yeah, I'll be right there with you. It's just to get something going and different avenues and different audience, because different places have different audiences. And you know, I'm kind of taking a hiatus from TikTok and posting vertical videos just this month to see what it is. And of course, you know, looking at my watch time on YouTube, it's gone down, but it's also it's not fluctuate, but it's kind of stabilized around the 40 to 60 watch hour or views per month or per whatever, which the shorts kind of inflate the numbers a lot. And I didn't really get any kind of not traction, but integration or interactivity from those people who are watching it. Because when I looked at the because it has a graph in your analytics, it says how many people watched and how many people swiped away. I had more people swiping away when my shorts came up. I'm like, fine, I'm not gonna do them anymore. Screw you. Just watch your stupid dance videos for all I care. But I'm thinking this is because I was just extracting the shorts out of these live streams, because that's what I do. Is I extract the 3 topics that they are their own videos. So I take them out, edit it down, and their own videos, and then I take those, extract the shorts out of those segments. So yeah. Since YouTube is my main place to stream, I use shorts on other sites to try and pull people to YouTube. Yeah. Actually, yeah, Twitch added stories today. Or was today. No, yesterday. Sorry. It's only on you can only view them on mobile though. You can't view them on the desktop or web-based. And I can see how that works. But we'll have to see how the community at large on Twitch would utilize stories. Because Twitch is just getting into it while other places have done it and then closed it down because it didn't work. So what I'm guessing for my own content for shorts is I'm going to have to, I'll probably start doing this now, try to work on a workflow to get it ready to start for the next year or for the new year, and see what I can do. Is just do like start building out shorts that are more focused on certain things instead of just a random clip out of a stream. Okay, so I don't think it will help with discovery for Twitch. Yeah. Because stories will only show up if you follow those creators. It's not like how it was with the feature clips, which would be shown to people who don't follow you. So, and again, it's like if you don't follow the person, you're not going to see their stories. So there's no avenue. Again, that's why I'm like, Instagram did it and tried it, and they said it sucked, and they dropped it. YouTube did the same thing. Yeah, it doesn't work. We drop it. WhatsApp did it. I think they're still doing it, but it's a different. It's Twitch is, I think, had copied what WhatsApp has done, but we shall see. So for the discovery and stuff like that, it's not going to work. Oh, and yeah, and the guest star that on Twitch, they've kind of silently rebranded it. It's no longer, you can't, because before, if you go into Twitch and browse, actually, if you go into the front page of Twitch, I know, right? Who goes there?
How did I die?
Only discovery I see for Twitch is if you use Luna. Luna shows people that are streaming to Twitch on the homepage. I've seen, well, that's an Amazon product. I've seen that Luna. I don't know how well that will work out. It's kind of like Amazon shopping. But that's like a different audience entirely. It's, even though it's the same product, it's essentially Twitch, but it's been reworked. So if you go to like the front page of Twitch, you won't see guest star anymore. Luna is dope if you don't have equipment to, if you don't have the equipment to stream. Yeah, no, it's I think Luna was probably the better version, like Stadia tried, but it's like, of course, Google. Yeah. Guest star is no longer on the front page. Well, that was a waste of their resources. Stadia brought me to, oh, it did. Okay. Yeah, I was a couple years ago, I got an email that says, hey, do you want to, all you gotta do, I think it's, you just pay for shipping, not even, and you get the Stadia controller, which I got it right there behind my Vault Boy and the Xbox controller. You get the Chromecast Ultimate, whatever it was, for like $10 because there was a go live button and I tried it out and now I'm addicted. Yeah, that's what usually happens, right? Mixer did that. It was part of the Xbox. You can hit a button on your Xbox controller or your dashboard and stream to Mixer from your console. Oh, they used that worked on Stadia. Oh, I'm sorry. Google is, I can't trust another product from Google, really, because there's so many times that they bring a great product out, let it squander, let it rot, and then kill it. Not too long ago, it's like the only thing I can trust with them is Gmail. And I'm like, and YouTube, it's like I don't think they're gonna be killing Gmail off. They might sell it off to another third party or somebody else, but I really don't think that, because that brings in a lot of advertising and data because they go through your emails. Same thing with YouTube. But yeah, any other product that they come out with, I can't. It's like, no, I know within like a year or two you're gonna kill it off. So why even bother getting started in it when you're gonna kill it off? I'm still pissed off at him at Google Plus. The Google Plus was ahead of its time, really. If we had Google Plus now, it would do so much better. It'll bring in a lot of very active people into it as well. my personal opinion if they brought it out recently. But it's dead. I think there is a version of Google Plus, but it's in the enterprise. It's in the workspaces, I believe. Yeah, they kind of integrated it into Google Workspace. Because I pay for Workspace for my email and storage. Yeah, I love the circles concept too. You can segregate, oh, these are my art people, these are my music people. And they can, they'll talk amongst themselves. You can get all that from there too. And it's just, it was great. It was just ahead of its time. So I think it still lives on Google Plus, but in Workspace. But it's not like how it was before. Which is sad. Sad. But yeah, there's a lot to think about with the social networking and stuff like that. Is I'm enjoying Blue Sky. I'm enjoying Threads and Spoutable and Mastodon. But yeah, I agree with you though. You gotta have your own space that is not dependent on some corporation. Yeah, you gotta own your own content in your own space. And then share out from there. Because we can't trust these places to be there. And if we put all of our eggs in that basket, and let's say you have a Discord server and your community lives in Discord. It's like, well, Discord, for whatever intents and purposes, like, no, I don't like you. And your server is gone. And you have no recourse. And all that history, all that data is gone in a puff of smoke. Now, if you had your own place, like either a forum or Matrix or whatever, it'll live on until you decide, I'm done with it, sell it off or kill it. But you make that choice, not some large greedy corpo. That's what I'm doing with this indie creator. It's like my personal space that I have set up for audience and grow in eventually a community to start up in there. So that's why I decided to. And of course, I've always loved forums and stuff like that. And I would like to see more forums come back into the limelight, so to speak, but in a different way. We can't really go back how it was before. We have to utilize the system, but in a new way. But I think I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up for tonight. Do I have... I don't think I have my schedule up for the next couple weeks, which I'll probably do tomorrow. And it's a great thing. If you want to see my schedule, go to This Indie Creator. Go to the events. I have everything all scheduled there. Oh, no problem. I enjoy doing these all the time. No, I have next 2 weeks of the first 2 hours scheduled, but I gotta do these. I gotta set up the next 2 Tuesdays. Well, thank you for coming by, everybody. St. Lo-Fi Monk and St. Clinton, thank you for coming out. And anybody who is else lurking that's in the sides, awesome that you were lurking. Thank you for being there. It's, you know, I don't have lurker call out because I think that's, you know, is not my style. But anyways, if you enjoyed lurking and you enjoyed what you've watched, go ahead and hit that follow button just below the player. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. It does great. Or leave a comment down below because it goes great for engagement and shows the YouTube gods that people like it. But other than that, I'll see you next Tuesday for another edition of The Independent Creator and a live taping. Join in live studio audience. But until then, I hope you guys have a good week and check back on our forum for some great stuff. And hope you guys have a good weekend, whatever. And I'll see you next week. Bye.